the real deal. See, no one has balls. No one has the balls to say the real deal.
Black word today.
Just y'all is the one and only. Get up.
You are poor.
Hello, everybody.
Black word today.
What up, people? How you doing? It's your man, Tim Black. Welcome to Black Word Today. I'm your host. And if we haven't spoken or haven't seen each other, you haven't seen me, I can't see you right now. I mean, I see your usernames if I'm on Facebook. But if we haven't talked lately, let me just say it one time loudly and clearly. Happy New Year! Happy New Year. Now, no matter what you went through in 2017, one thing is for certain. 2018 could be better. I was going to say that it was going to be better, but I have no way of knowing that. It could get worse. But we can now make a pact to decide that we're going to exchange information, that we're going to do everything in our power to make it a better year. And I honestly believe, guys, in my heart of hearts, and that's what people say in your heart of hearts, as if you got more than one heart. But in my heart, I believe that any advancement that will be done for the black community will have to start with information. Information leads to positive thought about what can be done, and from that, we can be strategic in what our next step should be. And if we sit in darkness, or if we sit around just going by what we logically think is the right move, that's where we make mistakes. That's what I believe. I believe that's where mistakes are made. Because a lot of this isn't about logic. It's not sitting around. It's not about what you think is right. It's not about just, okay, I assume this. But it's about, you got to know the information. You got to know what's happening, right? And then once you have that basis, then we can start planning. But we can't plan if we got faulty information and we just assume stuff. So look, this show is about sharing information. It's about creating conversations, and it's about getting out the news. So that's what we do here on Black Word Today. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Periscope, whether you are on YouTube. Now do me a favor now, because you want to be a part of sharing good information, right? Well, if you want to be a part of sharing good information, let's start by sharing this show. Let's share the show a little bit. And let's let people know about the Black Word Show, the Black Word Today Show with Tim Black. And let them know, hey, it's free. Just tune into the show and you can, start the conversation or continue the conversation. And know this, guys. This show is not brought to you by the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or any other parties. This show is brought to you by people like you who just happen to value what we do. When I say we, I mean me. Oh, and my graphic designer, a.k.a. partner in crime, Momo Pineno, who did that cool graphic in the beginning. So, guys, share it now on your social media because we're about to kick it off. Man, you guys had okay holiday, right? It's okay. May not have got what you wanted, but I just hope that you didn't get anything you didn't expect in the form of bad news over your holiday season. You know what I mean? Tough time for a lot of people. Hey, look, if you didn't get them babies nothing special, nothing expensive, don't worry about that. Did you get them a roof over head? They got a bed to sleep in? Do you love them? You're doing all right. You're doing all right. All right, so I would like to start today's show. I'd like to start. Okay. I'd like to start today's show talking about someone who passed away. Erica Garner, the daughter of Eric Garner, She passed away very recently. I think it was very recent. I think it was I want to say the day before Christmas. Oh God, man. I knew she was in. I'm a little choked up. Let me get through this, man. Look, listen. Erica Garner. A lot of people have written things about Erica Garner, and a lot of people have said some very encouraging words about Erica Garner and what she meant to them and what she meant to the movement, what she meant to, if there is a movement, what she meant to it and her spirit and what she stood for. And I applaud that. I do applaud the people who are speaking up and letting their thoughts be known. My thing is, and I'm going to get to a very insightful piece that was written by a personal friend of Erica Garner. I'm going to get to that. But I want to say this, man. It's very convenient for some of us to come out now and be very supportive of Erica Garner because she's no longer with us. There are a select few people that actually corresponded with Erica Garner, that actually were down when it mattered. All right? If you were not down then, I would like to say don't be down now, but that probably wouldn't be the right spirit. I just want to say, because if you want to get involved now, and it's not just for show, if you really feel that way, well, come on, we need more people. So I want to tell you to go have several seats, but I don't want you to have several seats if you're going to remain standing, but only if you will remain standing. I'm very proud to say that Erica Garner, I considered her an ally, a friend, someone someone that I had corresponded with. And she told me a few months ago when I was going through some of my own, I was getting dragged on Twitter or something, some conversation came up, and she said, Tim, you've always stood and fought for our issues, for black issues. We know that. That was her tweet to me. And anybody who doesn't believe that tweet, well, then you can just go look on her profile. So on to other business, on to the very thoughtful piece that was written about Erica Garner. This piece is written by Reggie Harris, a political strategist and a political director of the Garner Way Foundation. Looking back on the passing of my dear friend Erica Garner, the first thing I think is you did well. The second thing I think is I wish that this burden was never thrust upon you. Erica was not born an activist. She was a daddy's little girl, and she loved hard. She was a mother, a sister, and a loyal friend. Activism was a tactic that she thought was the best way for her to seek justice for her father, Eric Garner. Now, we know Eric Garner was killed by Daniel Pantaleo, a member of the New York Police Department. No such justice was ever received. Instead, everywhere she turned, she got empty words and promises. Mayor Bill de Blasio called himself a progressive, but sided with the police unions against Erica in her fight for justice. Governor Andrew Cuomo did indeed appoint a special prosecutor, but only for 1 year, just long enough to get a photo op with the Garner family, but not to upset the establishment. Erica took her fight all the way to a Democratic White House. Let me repeat that. Erica took her fight all the way to a Democratic White House. To no avail. In the end, after Erica put her entire life into this fight, not for herself, but for everyone black, she got no changes. The stresses of fighting for 3 years became too much for one person to bear. The fact that her death took place mere weeks after she took a year off and a few months after having her child is not lost. Erica left 2 children behind. Alisa, who was 7, and their newborn Eric, who was 4 months old. She was loved by many. I'm honored to have gotten a chance to know her, to work with her, and to call her my friend. If she were here, she would first and foremost want to make sure that her children were okay. Second, she would want us to remember who delivered for us and who didn't. And lastly, she would want to make sure that foster care parents, like the family she lived with for some time, are supported. Let us all honor her legacy and wishes. Reggie Harris, political strategist, political director at the Garner Way Foundation. You know, that article, that statement cuts to the core of the issue. It cuts to the core of the issue of a lot of our politics. I mean, know your friends, but also know your enemies. And know that your enemies can appear to be friends. I like the way he pointed out how Bill de Blasio called himself progressive, but he didn't act progressive when it came to cops, New York Police Department. And I also respect the hell out of his statements about the Democratic White House. I wonder what the reaction would be if Trump responded like the Obama administration responded. That's why I don't claim a party. I claim truth, and we come to speak on truth. Rest in peace, Erica Garner. The fight that you took up was not a fight you should have had to take up. It should have been a fight that much older people, that elders took up. This should have been a fight that you could have joined, not led. And I think, and I don't mean that in any way, shape, or form, in a negative way at all. I just think 27 is just damn too young to go. And I respect the hell out of anyone who fights for justice and equality on behalf of victims, and that's what I try to do. Thank you, Erica, for all you did. Thank you. All right. That's just one of those things, man. I could go on and on. You can go on and on and on about that. Let's talk about Baltimore. Okay, recently Baltimore Public Schools. In more of a context, we'll say that Baltimore has had so many issues of unemployment, issues of police corruption. We had a number of incidents where police were caught on camera, even falsifying, planting evidence. There's a recent story of a Baltimore officer who was killed in the line of duty. Some say it was possible it was because he was set to testify against a ring of corrupt cops. And the FBI decided, hey, we don't need to look into that. You can handle that yourself, Baltimore. Baltimore also, of course, the place of Freddie Gray, where he was mysteriously murdered, sort of like Eric Garner. Nobody did it. He just died, you know. He just broke his own spine or severed his own spine in the back of that truck. You know, it's not just money. It's justice. Justice comes with jail time. Oh, isn't that what they tell us? But anyway, back to Baltimore in light of this. Baltimore teachers are calling on the city to close all schools amid heating issues. So not only can Baltimore not build businesses that employ residents to a degree that would make sense in a major city like Baltimore, was a thriving city years ago. Not only can Baltimore not control its police officers, not only can Baltimore have a mayor who ran on $15 an hour, go back to say, well, we can't do that. But you ran on it, my sister. She made it $12 an hour. Did you get to $12, Baltimore? Baltimore, did you get to 12? But now we got Baltimore, they can't even keep the schools heated. They've been closing schools, and now the teachers are calling to close all schools. The Baltimore Teachers Union is urging the city to shut down all schools until officials can get a handle on the heating problems. They've already closed some buildings and left children shivering in others. I implore you that you close schools in the district until your facilities crew. Let's try that again, guys. All right. I implore you. Close schools in the district until your facilities crew has had time to properly assess and fix the heating issues within the affected schools in Baltimore City. Baltimore Teachers Union President Marietta English wrote in a letter that was hand-delivered Wednesday to school system CEO Sanja Santelisis. This is the best way to ensure the safety of our members and our children, English wrote. The city school system closed 4 schools all day Wednesday and dismissed students early from 2 others. Then they go on to name the schools. Frederick Douglass High School, Cecil Elementary School, that had heating problems. The 4 that were closed all day were Calvin Elementary Middle School, Elementary Middle Alternative Program, KIP Harmony Academy, Lakeland Elementary Middle School. English wrote that the union had fielded complaints about cold conditions in additional schools. So this is not just an issue that's relegated to just a few schools. No, we have other schools in the Baltimore school district that are also in need of being shut down. In fact, that's the reason why the outcry. If we can't, we can't get the proper caliber of teachers in these schools. We don't fund the schools. That has to do with also getting the best teachers, because if you can't fund the school, you can't keep the best and brightest teachers in the schools. Then we move on to, we cannot maintain the schools. Can't maintain the schools. If you don't have working heating and air in a building, you can't maintain the school. This is a travesty. City Schools CEO Sonja Santelisis said in a statement her primary concern is the well-being of city students. It should be. What will we do, Sonia? This includes not only providing safe, supportive school environments, but also ensuring that students are not denied opportunities for teaching and learning and providing wraparound services to support students and families. However, too many of our buildings have outdated heating systems, poor insulation, and aging pipes as a result of years of inadequate funding for maintenance and facilities improvements. So let me get this right. We got Baltimore is all Democratic. And I've heard people on the right make this claim about Baltimore. Baltimore's got Democrat, black Democrats, and all these people running it, from the police chief to the mayor, superintendents. This is what the conversation has been. And he's right, or they're right. They, he, she, they're right. It is. But see, color does not ensure competency, ethics, or doing your damn job correctly. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that. I know in the case of the mayor who ran on $15 an hour, who backed off it after she was elected, which to me ain't nothing but a bait and switch tactic. She's trying to appease the governor, Larry Hogan. That's where her pressure came from, to back off that $15 an hour. You know, when I talk about public schools, like Baltimore's public schools, when I talk about any schools, in fact, when I talk about any city issue, any issue where it's impacted by the state government, I'm really talking about governors. That's what we're talking about. Talking about governors. The governor's race in Maryland is a very pivotal race. Had an opportunity to interview Ben Jealous, former NAACP chairman. He's running for governor in Maryland, which happens to be my home state. Now, I visit Baltimore. I'm not from Baltimore. I'm in the southern part of Prince George's County, which is closer to Washington, D.C. But I go up to Baltimore often. And Maryland is Maryland. My point is this, guys. Some people are under the idea that local politics don't matter. Do you see these damn schools in Baltimore, Maryland? Do you see schools in Maryland in general? Do you see this? You don't think a good governor, a governor that cares about education, a governor that's going to make sure that money allocated for the schools goes to the schools, doesn't do a bait and switch? You don't think that matters? And you think I give a damn if Ben Jealous is a Republican or a Democrat? I care that Ben Jealous is going to be a far cry better for Baltimore schools and Prince George's County schools than Larry Hogan. So when we have these conversations, when people bring up, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Green Party, any of this stuff, are they truly invested in the communities that they are criticizing? Are they truly invested in the outcomes of these races? Because there'll be people telling me, Tim, don't bring on Democrats. Are you running? And if you are running, can you win? And if you do win, will you do a better job? That's a question. Because, see, these students in these schools, such as in Baltimore, they deserve a better education. And if somebody doesn't champion for them, or someone does not stand up and support these candidates, regardless of any backlash they get, we end up stuck with people like Larry Hogan, who ain't nothing but a Trump on a smaller scale. A businessman who don't know anything about politics, didn't give anything a damn about community, or any of that, who ran a simultaneous campaign with Donald Trump because he knew he could win that way. People were tired of the establishment people, so in came Larry Hogan. Larry Hogan's not good for Baltimore. Larry Hogan's not good for Maryland. And those people who criticize local politics, now I can understand you criticizing general elections. I get that. Oh, I get it. The system is corrupt. I'm not saying state party system isn't corrupt, but what I'm saying is people have to live there. And it matters who your governor is. It matters who your senator is. It matters who your congressman is. It matters who your sheriff is. It matters who's on your school board. It matters who your judges are. It matters. I just wish other people felt that way. Oh. Lord have mercy. We could have that conversation, couldn't we? We could have that conversation and keep on having it. Doug Jones. Now, we all are familiar with the Alabama special election that occurred where Doug Jones, the Democrat, was challenging. He faced off with Roy Moore. Okay. Now, we know the seat was vacant because Jeff Beauregard Sessions, Mr. Let's get tough on crime again. Jeff Sessions, Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies, the thing under the state. Jeff Sessions. Can you tell I don't care for Jeff Sessions? Well, Jeff Sessions, when he became Attorney General, he left vacant his seat, and that's where we ended up with the race, the runoff between Roy Moore and Doug Jones. Now, Doug Jones won. And make no mistake about it, Doug Jones won, a Democrat. He won because black people came out and put him in power. They came out in unprecedented numbers. More black people came out to support Doug Jones and came out to vote for Obama in 2008 or in 2012. That's right. Now, it's been noted that a lot of black women came out. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean like almost every black woman in Alabama came out and voted for Doug Jones. Like 98%, something crazy number. Black men weren't far behind. We was there like 90-something. We're in the 90s too. That's damn good considering a lot of other groups didn't feel that way. it's important to know that the coalition of black folks and young white folks and young Latino folks can get some stuff done. That coalition got it done in Alabama. That's how they won that race. Well, anyway, Doug Jones, people have been saying, Doug Jones, he should do something. He should make sure he remembers why he got in office, how he got in office, and who put him there. And I agree with that. I agree with it. Yeah, he should remember. Well, looks like Doug remembered. It looked like Doug remembered.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my time.
All right, so what did Doug do to show? Not just say he knows, not just like, yeah, you know, I know. I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all and everything, you know what I'm saying? But what did he do to prove it? Did I put this? I know I got a picture of this guy up here somewhere. I thought I did. No, here we go. Here we go. This is what he did. He did this. Doug Jones hires African-American chief of staff. Woo! He hired an African-American chief of staff, y'all. Oh. Woo! Woo! Senator-elect Doug Jones has hired former transportation official and congressional aide Dana Gresham as the chief of staff. Chief of staff. Go ahead now. That's a brother right there. He gave that brother a job. Ain't that something special? I love that. He gave that brother a job. The move will make Jones the only Senate Democrat to have an African-American chief of staff. Only one. Only one, huh? We'll come back to that. Two Senate Republicans, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina and Jerry Moran of Kansas, have black chiefs of staff. Two Senate Republicans already have black chiefs of staff? We'll come back to that too. Gresham previously served as assistant secretary for government affairs at the Department of Transportation. Before that, he was chief of staff to the then Republican Arthur Davis of Alabama, a graduate of Georgetown University. Gresham is an Alabama native. A tweet Tuesday by Representative Terry Sewell referred to him as Birmingham's own standout. Jones has made hiring a diverse staff a priority since his upstate victory of Republican Roy Moore in last month's Senate election in Alabama. Jones' office announced Gresham as a member of the senior staff hires on Tuesday, and then it goes on to say a lot of other stuff. Jones will be sworn in. Oh, he got sworn in today. That's good. That's great. It's great. It's great. Only thing is, don't get me wrong. I like the fact that you got a black guy as a chief of staff. I mean, you know, Democrat Party, better late than never. Better late than never. Here's the thing. I don't think we need to apply for this. This should be what is expected. When you have a party that does not exist without black people, how in the hell are we supposed to be clapping up and jumping up and down and clapping because they give us a job? We ain't running a party. We're not running a party. Hold on a second. Hello? Hello? Hey. I'm live on my show. Do you hear this? See, I had to answer the phone, y'all, because I thought maybe something was wrong with the feed. That was Mrs. Black. Back to my point. Because, you know, if something wrong or people can't hear, I can't see comments right now. I would hate to be talking to myself. That stuff happens. Oh, it's a live show. It's live. It's all the way live. Tim got a janky media show up here. It's janky as hell. I'm a real brother, man. Okay, back to my point. I don't think we need to be jumping up and down and clapping because Doug Jones did the right thing. I think the entire Democratic Party needs to do the right thing. Without black voters coming out en masse, there will be no Democratic Party. That's why I push for better candidates, policies, that will support black communities. Because, as I stated before, without us, you can't win. So, yeah, I'm glad that Doug Jones put this brother in a position, I guess. I don't know anything about Mr. Greensham. Just because he black don't mean he's going to stand up to, I don't know, corruption, bias, racism, whatever. It doesn't mean he's going to be any different. If Mr. Gresham folds, well, he don't have any power anyway. Chief of Staff don't have power. This is a great position. I mean, it's better than Omarosa's position. But you get what I'm saying. What is he controlling? The chief, the staff? He controls the staff. Okay. Look, I'm glad he got it. I guess. I don't know. Listen, it don't matter what color you are if you don't have a backbone. It doesn't matter what color you are if you have no power. And if you do have power, when you do not have the guts, the will to risk it all in order to better people who are disenfranchised, victims, then what good is having you? I'd rather not have you. I mean, what good is having you if you ain't going to do nothing but get fat, get paid? See, that's the thing we need to look at. That comes before everything else. Now, back to the other point about the Republican Party. It's shameful that a party that does not need the black vote to win, evidenced by the win of Donald Trump and many others, Bush, and name a Republican. They don't need black vote to win. That they would be first or ahead of Democrats in appointing a black chief of staff. If you don't find that shit embarrassing, beyond, like, sad, if you don't find that sad, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. 10 black people, Team Black, 10 Blacks Wolfpack, I don't know what to tell you. When I say that the Democratic Party be pimping black people, this is the type of thing I'm talking about. And it doesn't mean I'm trying to tell you to go vote Republican. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying get something for your money. Get something for your vote. Get something for your children. Get something for your community. You are putting them in power. I think that's fair. I get nothing personal out of it. It's just what I believe must happen if we are to have any justice in this country. So anyway, shout out to the Republicans who've been trailblazing in this area. And pretty cool you Democrats decided to catch up. One last note about this Doug Jones appointment. The Democratic Party, not just Doug Jones, the Democratic Party owes black people. Period. All right. All right. There it is. It's hiding under there. It's hiding under there. All right. Now, when you hear a lot of people talk about black media, they talk about black ownership. You know, P. Diddy do his thing with black excellence. Black excellence. Black excellence. We gonna get it. We gonna get it. Meanwhile, in reality, we ain't getting it so much. We ain't getting it. And, you know, a lot of people like to talk about, you know, reverse racism. You hear this stuff. You hear these people say, well, those are black. Why does it need to be a black entertainment TV? Well, it's owned by white people, so yeah, it's a good investment, I guess. Not really black owned. Just like Friends, Full House, you know, Sex in the City. Like, you know, a lot of black people didn't watch that shit. It could have been Whites in the City, but they called it Sex in the City. See, when you're the dominant group, you don't have to say white because it's already white. All right? It's the default. Everything else is extra. Everything else. I know that's a hard concept for people to get. It's like people just want to be upset, just want to, it's equal. No, it's not equal. It's not equal. What are you talking about? I know you don't really care. You just don't want to feel bad about anything. As if, look, it's not about you, it's about the country, okay? But anyway, we know people who are aware understand that there's a lack of black ownership in small businesses, corporations, But something changed today, and I want to bring light to it. The owner of Shea Moisture, Mr. Richelieu Dennis, he just purchased Essence Magazine. Give it up for that. Give it up for that. No. I'm serious. Give it up for that. I'm serious. This is important. It's important. Essence Magazine was black-owned, and then it became white-owned, and now it's back to being black-owned. 100% black-owned by a black company. This is good. And the reason why this is good is not because, I already stated that what good is having a black person in a position if that person isn't willing to risk it all to fight for what they believe in, and if they don't have any ethics at all to black people. There ain't no difference, okay? But when it comes to print media, when it comes to media, any type of media, it matters because your knowledge of the black community, if you are truly connected to it, because there'll be black people who are not connected to stuff. And if you grew up in another country, you don't know anything about American black in America, you have no connection at all. You don't understand. What are these people mad about? You got an opportunity here in America. They have no connection at all to America or blacks in America. So it matters if the person has a connection. I don't know much about Richelieu Dennis. I don't know if he falls in that category or not. I hope that he just falls in the category of understanding what's needed in the black community and being able to balance between entertainment and information and combine them both. Sort of like what I try to do on this show. And look, don't give me a hard time. I know sometimes. I answer the phone during the show. I know. But you kept watching. I hope. Well, anyway, I'm glad to see this change of ownership. Essence will transfer from Time's hands, Time Warner, to an entirely black-owned independent company. We're excited to be able to return this culturally relevant and historically significant platform to ownership by the people and the consumers whom it serves. The move comes as Time Inc. continues to sell off parts of the company that were not included in its recent sale to Meredith. So I think it's a positive thing. And yeah, I know there's going to be people who are going to make different statements. This is my statement on the matter. Black media is important. It's important to have people, not just black media, right? Not just black media with good intentions. And I don't just mean good intentions as to get rich. I mean good intentions as in what their message will be. Good intentions as in what their message will be, what their information will be, how that will translate in their relation to the black community, and what they're fighting for, if they're fighting for anything, what they care about. These things matter. I think that it is positive if that's the case in this situation. I'm not positive that it is, but I would like to hope that it is. And I'm sure as time goes on, people will point things out, and there may be someone who's done some more investigation on Mr. Dennis to give us more background on that. Because of right now, all I can do is go by his name, his color, and that he's a black man and it's independently owned, black-owned. I'd like to point you, though, to an article. So I looked at this. When I looked at the purchase of Essence Magazine by an independent black-owned company, I ran across an article in Black Media on black media ownership. Black media ownership matters. It's by Antonio Moore. Now I'm sure some of you know, if not most of you know, Antonio Moore. He's a lawyer out of L.A. He does a series of videos and content out there called Tone Talks. He also is a writer. He's written for numerous online publications, and he's got some good stuff out there. Go check him out. Anyway, in this particular article, Black Media Ownership Matters, he goes on to say, it's inside media ownership where we set the starkest disparity between blacks and whites across all major platforms. We're talking film, television, print, and digital. According to one recent Federal Communications filing, 4 power television stations, whites owned 1,070 stations, or 77.2%. This was in 2013. While non-whites owned a mere 41 stations, or 3%. African Americans owned just 9 stations, or 0.6%. The remaining stations have no majority interest, but appear likely to be white-owned as well. So, you know, those people who complain when they even have the name Black Entertainment Television. These people who complain, just the name. Oh, God, what if I had White Entertainment Television? Those dumb motherfuckers, all right? That's what they are, man. I want to educate them, but God, man, come on, man. You have to know everything in America is default to white. How could you live here. How could you not know that? How could you not know that? But all things being equal, shouldn't black folks have about 13% of the stations? Shouldn't they? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if it's all equal. That's what I would think.
So say good night to the bad guy.
Shouldn't that be the situation? Maybe not 13%, 10%. 10%, you know? Everybody got a cousin who don't know what to do with himself, so maybe 10%. Shave off 3%, make it 10%. Okay, forget that. Maybe, you know, you got to be exceptional. You got to be exceptional to own a radio station, a print company, a film company. 5. No. 0.6. Not even 1%. The ownership, black people own less than 1% of media. Why do you think I'm over here killing it, over here risking my health, trying to crank out content, trying my best to survive in this space? Why do you think I fight so hard? What do you think I'm doing? Come on, guys. You know how, you watch the show. If you watch the show, you know how hard I work. You know how much work I put in. And then who tries to destroy me? No, it's not black people. It's not black people. Black people are not trying to destroy me. But anyway, back to this article. So what brought about this situation where black people don't own shit in when it comes to media? Where'd that come from? Oh, I bet it was some evil Republicans or some loopy Green Party people, right? With their Green Deal trying to, you know, make the world exist or continue existing. Had to be them, right? No, it wasn't. In 1996, the Telecom Act was the beginning of the end for black-owned and black-formatted radio stations. According to the Atlanta Black Star, backed by President Clinton, the Telecom Act lifted ownership limits and under the guise of promoting competition in the communications market, ushered in a new era of corporate ownership and deregulation, allowing huge companies to gobble up stations around the country. It's important to know the only reason why Mr. Dennis was able to purchase Essence is because they got brought out. And that's exactly what happened to black media. And that's exactly how this space got overwhelmingly crowded with just rich white folks. So if you have other people telling your stories, if you have other people always shaping the narrative about you, hell, I know various channels. Let's just focus on the internet because I love the internet. I fight to maintain net neutrality. I put out my work in support of the internet. This is how I've built my business for the most part. But I know there are various internet news organizations who cover a lot of black news. They'll talk about Erica Garner. They'll talk about Eric Garner. They'll talk about the Baltimore Schools system. They don't hire many black people. And they definitely don't hire black people in pivotal positions. I'm not looking for a job, though. I want my company to thrive, which is not what they want. They don't want that. They do not want black people having a voice in this arena. Come on, how could you deduce anything different than that? How can you have 0.6, man? 0.6? And you always, it's just things that happen. Nobody wants it. No, black people must not like music in radio and movies. Right? That's what you're gonna say. All right. Black people, we have to wake up and smell what's going on. We have to support black independent media. We do. Now, Antonio Moore in this article, just to get back to it, because I've been ranting. Antonio Moore, he goes on in this interview to talk about his interview. Well, in this article, he talks about an interview he had with Byron Allen. And we know Byron Allen, very successful, owns many corporations, probably corporations, probably all under his guide, under his CEO. He's the president of many companies in the media space. He says, this is the fourth and final chapter of economic inclusion. Coretta Scott King was a friend, and she said that African Americans faced 4 major challenges: ending slavery, ending Jim Crow, achieving civil rights, and gaining economic inclusion. This is part of economic inclusion. Ownership in media, ownership in broadcasting, ownership in print media, ownership in publishing, ownership. There you go. I'll leave it there. Now, look, what I've been trying to do, and I've been working really hard on this, and part of some of the breaks I've been taking over the holidays was, one, to recharge my battery, spend time with family, but it also was to focus on trying to make this show better and to really brainstorm about what are some ways in which I can expand TBTV and notably Black Word Today, and how I can make that show more engaging, more interesting for everybody who tunes in. One way is to make it so that people actually want to listen to a talking head on the internet. That's not easy. It's not easy. You want people to stay engaged. You want them to want to contribute. So one of the reasons, or one of the ways I thought to make people contribute or be a part of it and feel more like this is something that I want to tune into, that I would devote my time to, is to come up with segments that matter. Segments that matter.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
So I came up with this. Let's go with this. This is the first thing. It's Tim's Blacklist. Give it up for Tim's Blacklist. Now let me tell you a little bit about Tim's Blacklist because I'm very excited about this. What this is if you send me something, and let me become aware of what you're doing, whether it be a project, whether it be, something you're working on, whether it be a business, a project, or whatever you're working on. I'm going to, sort of create a segment in my show where I showcase what you're doing. See, I don't want people to just support my show, support what I've got going on, support TBTV. I want to also support others. That's what's different about what we try to do here. There's a lot of people say, hey, support me. They don't support anyone else. In fact, they throw shade at everyone else. Very interesting. I see you. But listen, we want to set an example because I believe trends have to be started. So one of the ways, once again, guys, is to support others. So with that in mind, Tim Black's Blacklist is launched. And being on my blacklist is a good thing. Being on my blacklist is a good thing.
It's going to be consequences and repercussions.
It's not a negative. To be on Tim Black's blacklist is a good thing. Just imagine it to be like Oprah's list. And I know some of you do not like Oprah. Some of you love it, some of you hate it. I understand. But I'm just saying this so you can get the idea. Oprah's list was positive. Okay? All right, so here we go. I would like to present this to you. The first of the Tim
Straight Loud auditions, let's go.
Blacklist. See if I can get this right. Here we go.
Straight Loud auditions, let's go. Anybody look at, hey, good man right here, buddy. If you know anybody in musical talent, Straight Loud's having auditions, baby. All right, Straight Loud auditions. My name is Rel, and my music group is Straight Loud, and we're a hip-hop multifaceted genre group. We're based right here out of Easton, Pennsylvania, probably the greatest city on earth. There's nobody on this goddamn earth that I want to point this task to than my man Eli right here.
He doesn't understand that I'm a true musical genius. Everything I do, I say, I get it done.
All I know is I better get that part though, or it's gonna be Easter weekend out this bitch. I'm 50 cal, they know what it is. Let's act like it.
You know, these guys, they come out here and they're acting like they're gangsters or something, like gang banging, drug dealers and all that shit. You know what? I lock them up. They can't come to me and fucking act like that, especially not on these streets.
My name is Gertrude. I run these streets here in Easton.
I'm so glad that I could be a part of this group, man. Like, man, I ain't got to sell drugs no more, man. I got a kid, man. Child support kicking my ass.
This is going to be one hell of a ride, so you better have a strap on.
My man Darrell Johnson sent me that clip. He hit me up almost a month ago, and he told me that he had something that he wanted to promote. And I told him to keep his money, and I told him I like what he was doing. Straight Loud, the group, is a mockumentary. It's comedy, okay? It's a comedy. It's an innovative form of comedy, though. It's comedy where you think it's a documentary, but they're really just having fun creating this fantasy documentary, right? So, look, guys, check out something new. Become support creativity, artistry, and just it's fun stuff. I think we're always open to new ideas, and this is definitely one. Straight Loud presents the group, a small multi-genre music group located in Easton, trying to make it big. This is a documentary that follows their long and frustrating journey to fame, a series created by Darrell Johnson. Look, find this on Facebook, the group Straight Loud. Twitter, Straight Loud. Let me give you Straight Loud. STR 8, the number 8, Loud Society. Straight Loud Society. That's where you find them. And look, I'm totally amped about the possibility of this genre of mockumentaries. I think that people need escapism, and they need to laugh. I think you know that as well as I do. So give it up one more time for Straight Loud, the group, and go check them out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They got a YouTube channel. Subscribe to their YouTube. I subscribe to their YouTube. You'll find me there. I'll find you there. Okay? Yeah. I'm talking about. Yeah. Now, just to keep it rolling. Now, look, that's not all. That's not all. Oh, yeah, also, let me remind you, if you want to send in your clips or your whatever it is to make me aware of what you got going on, hit me up at tim@timblacktv.com. That's tim@timblacktv.com. Okay? Okay. Now, same thing goes for this. That's not it, guys. I told you I want to make sure that Black Word Today is a very interactive show. I want it to be connected to the community. I want it to be something that you feel is positive and gives back. You support it, but it supports you. One way I'm doing that is a new series. Another new series. Hey, Tim got a new series. It's called Talk Back to Tim Black. That's right. Talk Back to Tim Black. All right. Now, what is Talk Back to Tim Black, man? What you talking about, Tim Black? Well, Talk Back to Tim Black is where, when on my shows, when I discuss certain topics, certain news events, and say you agree with it, great. Maybe you like to share why you agree with it. Or maybe you like to add a certain, I don't know, your say to that issue. Or maybe you disagree with it and you'd like to rebut it to a certain degree. I would like for you to send me those clips. I would like to include that. See, as long as we're not attacking each other, calling each other names and so-and-so's, going in, talking about people's mother, talking about people's, what they look like, or teeth, or, just stupid stuff. Yeah, you don't got no money, you broke. Like, as long as we keep it about the issue, I support criticism. I support not just criticism, because we're talking about ideas. We're talking about opinions. We're talking about also sharing information. So all that's good stuff. Send that to tim@timblacktv.com. And luckily for me and this show and the viewers, you guys, all you people out there to support the show who are watching, I already have my first installment. That's right. We already had somebody who sent in a clip. Now, he didn't send the clip to me. He posted this clip on YouTube, and I saw his clip. I saw what he had to talk about. He is responding. His name is Super Sly 75. Super Sly 75. And he didn't like what I had to say about prisons. He disagreed with my prison firefighter segment, where I talked about the fact that a lot of prisoners were used to fight the Los Angeles wildfires. And after 2 of these prison firefighters were killed trying to maintain that blaze, trying to contain that blaze and get rid of it, trying to fight those fires, I then did a video segment on it. Well, he did his segment, and here it goes. Let's see if I can find that. See, I got a lot going on here. I got a lot going on here, but I know I have it. Talk back to Tim Black. Here we go.
And I go on Tim Black's channel. And I haven't been on it in ages, but he had a title. And I was like, oh, let me see what he's talking about. It was about prison firefighters. I'm like, yo, let me go check out what he got to say about prison firefighters. Because me being a former prison firefighter, I mean, I think I would have inside scoop on, you know, how it works and stuff. So then he goes on this diatribe about, because two prison firefighters died on this recent fire. And then he goes into how it's forced labor, slave labor, because of the wages. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. So clearly this nigga didn't do his research on how it works. Trust me, it is not forced labor. You choose to go into that program. On top of that, there's hellish restrictions and stipulations for you to even be considered for it, okay? For one, you have to have less than 5 years on your time, okay? You have to have a low point, you have to be low on the point system when it comes to housing. You can't be level 3, level 4. They only take level 1s and 2s, all right? You got to have a minimum to no violence history as far as in the prison. It depends on your crime, okay? And then you have to go through the training. And it's the same training the regular wildland firefighters go through, if not more. And then Tim's trying to make his point about, you know, it being paid $1 an hour on the fire. Yeah, okay. What they gonna pay prisoners the same amount as they would pay somebody on the outs? Like, stop, dude. Like, everybody that was there chose to be there, okay? And, no, hey, it's not forced slave labor. Yeah, the wage is shitty, but what do you expect? It's a fucking prison. The odds are you may not get chosen to do it. And then he's like, well, yeah, you get promised freedom and stuff. No, you don't get promised freedom. What the fuck? You can die on these fucking fires. Matter of fact, I had one inmate on one crew. He died on the fire. How? Where's the freedom in that? Are you kidding me? Like, see, this is what I don't like about certain these YouTubers. They speak on experiences they've never ever had or never have come close to experiencing. We were out there on the fires fighting next to federal firefighters, state workers, and you know what's funny? Nobody ever said anything bad to us, right? When we after you work 24 hours, you sleep 12, or you work 48, and you sleep 12, and then, you know, during the downtime when it's your shift off, you know, they would come give us pointers and tips. Hell, I had even, you know, even a couple chiefs would give us their names for references if we wanted to apply for a job when we got out. Yeah, that's my rant. Tim Black, I need you to do better, bro. All right, peace.
All right, let's give it up. Let's give it up for my man Super Sly 75 on YouTube, man. On YouTube, man. All right. Hey, look, man, I want to first thank you for submitting that video. And I hear you. Now, first of all, let's clear this up right away because this really jumped out at me, man. You said you don't watch my show. You don't watch my show. But you saw this title, so you decided to watch it. I appreciate that you tuned in, man. I appreciate your support of watching this show this one time. Just stuck on me. Hey, keep it real. The other thing is, the other glaring thing is, brother, I never said, I don't know what video you watched. I never said they were promising people freedom if they fought fires. No. In fact, if I thought they were promising freedom, I'd have no problem with it. I would agree with it. Then I would support it. I'd be like, yeah. Fight a fire, get free. Fight a fire, get time off. I love that idea. But see, that's not what's happening. What's happening is it? That ain't what's going on, Super Sly. No, brother, I understand. You were incarcerated. You lived this. You were in that environment. You know what it is. But what you do not know, brother, is that I cannot support prison firefighters. I cannot support the act of offering, because you're right, they don't have to be firefighters. They could just do any other type of job. It's not like you can just decide not to do any job, though. If that institution says you will work, if you don't, you suffer penalties for that. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Isn't that the case? My brother. Super Sly. Firefighting is a very dangerous job. You yourself described a person that you knew that died in a fire who was a prisoner. Would he have been doing that job if he were outside? That's a question. I don't think he would be. Maybe he would be. But he died doing that job. It's a dangerous job. Very dangerous job. Firefighting is a dangerous thing for anyone to take, to do. And you yourself said, hey, Tim Black, you can't expect the pay to be good. No, I can expect the pay to be good because you're doing the job right next to, as you described, people who are getting paid a decent wage to do it. How can you say that you don't deserve what the person standing next to you? You said 24 hours straight, 48 hours straight. Dude, that's a lot of work. And you could die. You should be getting paid. You should have been getting paid. Anyone who does this type of work should be getting paid the same amount as the people here they're doing it next to, standing right next to them. My other thing is this, man. My condemnation is to the entire system of mass incarceration. It's into the entire prison industrial complex that, not just me saying this, that our country is built on, that is used, slave labor. You can't understand you want to get out of the environment and do something different. I understand that. And I wanted to go your way. I wanted to have this eye-opening moment, of, okay, I get it. These people are in this bad situation, and being a firefighter for just this brief amount of time or however long it lasts is an escape, a repass from this. I get that. Here's the problem. I tend to believe that when prisoners are able to be monetized in this way, because don't make no mistake about it, the state saves money by having you do that job. That will increase, or that increases the likelihood that prison terms stay longer, because I believe that money moves and rules our prisons. And I don't just believe it, it's factually true. There are entire towns undergirded by prisons. If you took prisons out of a lot of these rural towns, they'd have really no commerce. Some leading industries in some of these cities are the prisons. And then you factor in prison labor, which can be rented out just like convict leasing, which is what it is. Just because you have become conditioned to accept it as a reality doesn't mean I don't push back against it. Get that? Listen, man, America has only 5% of the world's population, though America has 25% of the world's prison population. black people are indiscriminately locked up. Disproportionate. I don't believe that's by accident. I believe that is strategic. I believe you create the type of conditions that will ensure people go to prison. I can't support it. I will continue to fight against it. Let me give you some facts, man. A lot of that, now there were facts in there, but a lot of it was me just ranting about my point of view, okay? 21st century slaves, how corporations exploit prison labor. There's one group of American workers so disenfranchised that corporations are able to get away with paying them wages that rival those of the third world. These laborers have been legally stripped of their political, economic, and social rights and ultimately relegated to second-class citizens. They are banned from unionizing, violently silenced from speaking out, and forced to work for little to no wages. This marginalization renders them practically invisible, as they are kept hidden from society with no available recourse to improve their circumstances or change their plight. There are 2.3 million American prisoners locked behind bars where we cannot see or hear them. And they are modern-day slaves of the 21st century. Now, I understand it's so many people in the system that it has its own culture. It has its own acceptable amount of violence, acceptable amount of exploitation. That doesn't mean it's right. Also, there is another side to this equation that a lot of people never consider. When you are able to employ prisoners, or they suffer penalty if they don't work, if you are able to employ prisoners to do work at, I don't know, pennies on the dollar, doesn't that impact the economy of those who aren't in prison? I mean, if they couldn't give it to you and they couldn't ship it out to China, they'd have to do what? Straight Super 75, Super Sly, they'd have to employ people where? In that community. And if they employ people in that community, I got to imagine at least some people that are in prison might not be in prison because maybe they'd have jobs and they'd be less likely to commit crime. Because people who have something to lose tend not to want to lose it. Unless we just imagine that all black people or poor people are just defective and don't want to make money in a straight job. See, I don't believe that. Now, we could go on and on with this, but I would like to give you at least one more fact. It's no secret that America imprisons more of its citizens than any other nation in history. Just 5% of the world's population, the U.S. currently holds 25% of the world's prisoners. In 2006, over 2.3 million Americans were in prison or jail, with one of every 48 working-age men behind bars. Now, that's according to a study by the Center for Economic and Policy Research. The CEPR, Center for Economic and Policy Research, the study observes that U.S. prison rates are not just excessive in comparison to the rest of the world, they're also substantially higher than our own long-standing history. So a lot of people would say, oh, Tim, you know, we don't care about what they do in England. We don't care about what they do in the UK. We don't care about what they do in, I don't know, Slovenia. We don't care about, because that's what people like to say. When you say, hey, we're the worst, they go, but we're different because we have all these freedoms. Even when you compare us to us, we're the worst right now. And I believe that's not by accident. And I believe as long as you incentivize locking people up, there will be more people locked up and there will be stricter laws to lock up more people. We already get the longer sentences, bro. I cannot support it. What I want to do is support less mandatory minimums. I want to support legalizing marijuana. A lot of people in jail for nonviolent drug offenses. I could stay on this all day. I don't want it to be, and I also don't want to attack you. I appreciate you, and I respect the fact you have an actual experience in this area. You're not just talking. I didn't cover this story just to talk about it, man. I covered it because I care. One last thing, brother. The fact that it's prison and you paid $1, to me, that should make no difference. You still have to live. You still have to make phone calls. You still have kids. Or those people, when I say you, I mean those people. They still have kids. They still have families, bro. We got to fight for that. We got to fight back against the idea that you deserve not to be paid a decent wage if you're doing a decent day's work. I don't care who you are. That's what I believe. That's what I stand on. And I respect the hell out of you for voicing your opinion and sending it my way. Thank you for helping contribute to this segment. So give it up for Super Sly 75 one more time. Brother. All right, guys. Now look, send your suggestions, send your information about what you got going on. Also send your rebuttals, your replies, your voicing out, talk back to Tim Black. Send all that stuff to tim@timblacktv.com. The reason why this show is going to continue to grow and become more popular is not just because you like my shiny head. It's not just because you like my deep baritone voice. It's going to be because of the content. And the content's going to be strong because I'm going to have strong people, smart people, thoughtful people, creative people, humorous people sending me content that they want included in this show. That's how you do it in 2018. You become interactive, and the world will react. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into Black Word today. I will see you. We're going to switch. I'm going to be doing this show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it's just too much. I can't do 3 shows a day. Quantity is important, but so is quality. And it takes time to put together quality that's worth your time. So 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays for Black Word today. I'll see you again on Friday. Till we talk again, y'all be safe. And, yeah, follow me as Real Tim Black. And also don't forget, guys, I'm sorry. I got a hot-ass ebook on Amazon. You need to check it out. It's called Woke. It's called Woke. 5 things smart people wish Hillary supporters knew. So go to Amazon, get the book. It's very affordable. It's only a couple bucks. It supports this channel. And if you can't buy the book, don't worry. Don't worry. Share videos. But it's one way to support the channel. And I'm trying to tell you, this book is ammunition and information so that you can understand what happened in 2016 and why it should not be a total shock that Hillary Clinton lost. In fact, it should be expected. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one. I think that was a good show. Only bad thing is trying to weed through all this stuff. Is this it? See, no one has balls. No one has the balls to say the real deal.
Black Word today.
Yes, y'all is the one and only. Get up.